Hello guys, this is Hustle and Fun, and we got another Maxima here. This is a 2014 and it has a PO442 EVAP code, and we're going to replace the Purge control valve today, and it's on the back of the vehicle. So we have to go under the vehicle from the back, and we'll have to raise it, do all the safety precautions of lifting a vehicle to go underneath it, and I'll show you how to take things off in order to get to the Purge control valve. Let me lift the vehicle up and safely put the stand under to make sure it doesn't drop on me while I'm working on it. So let's continue. Okay, so here's the vapor canister purge valve that I just ordered. I ordered it through Amazon. It was cheaper than Rock Auto. I think the Rock Auto one was about $88. The cheapest one on Amazon, it was about 20 bucks. So look around, and if you can get overnight shipping, because you have the Amazon Prime, it costs you only about 20 bucks. So here it is. Let me see if I can take this out. So here's the valve. As you can see, it should be a good fit. This part right here, you will have to kind of twist it and pull it off. And then here are the other connections. Here's the electrical connection. So it looks like it's the one that's on there that I've researched. It looks the same. So I'm going to go outside and get this done. Take the old one apart and put this in. Okay guys, so I'm back under the car. It is lifted and propped up properly. Make sure you use your safety caution procedures. So what needs to be done is these two bolts need to be taken off, and possibly on the other side also, so we can get to the purge valve, which is behind here. I don't know if you'll be able to see it or not properly. So there's a canister back here. Let me try to get the camera there, maybe from a different angle. So the canister is back here. I don't know if you can see my fingers, the blue right here. And the purge valve is the continuing of it, right here. Let me try to get this in a little bit better focus. So it's up there. You have to take a couple of hoses off the electrical line, and as I showed you before, when I was inside looking at the new part, it needs to be kind of twisted off. So I'm going to be taking this rear torsion bar off, and so I can get this better to this. We'll see if only 2 bolts or all 4 bolts need to be taken off in order to take this part off right here, what I'm pointing to, and then we can get up in there and service that part to replace that part. So let me start. Okay, so to continue with this, we'll be getting these 2 bolts loose right here and also right there. We're going to be using a 16 millimeter on these, and the same thing on the other side. So I have it set up where we can get started on it, and let's get this going. And same thing on the other side. And we'll take this loose, take the other side loose, and once we take this bar down, we should be able to get to the purge valve as we need. Okay, so I got one side loose, so that all it is, it's slotted here, so you can pull it out once you loosen that side, and this one you actually have to take the bolt out. So going to the other side, it is the same thing. We're going to be loosening that and taking that off the same way, and then we can get the bar out of the way. So once the other side is loosened also, you can see that you can move this bar right here, and we can actually get to the place that we need to right in here. So I'm going to be taking this out. As I said, there's an electrical connection, and there's, I believe, 2 other hoses there that I need to take off. So I'm not sure how well you can see this, but there's a hose right there that was taken off of this part right here. And then I had to twist this whole unit counterclockwise. And now I just need to get the electrical connection off, and I just need to press on this, and then I can take this off, and then we can put the new unit back in. One thing we need to keep in mind is on here, there's a little seal, an O-ring, that you have to make sure that it's off of the old parts, and the new part should come with it. Mine came with it, and make sure that you install that so it will seal properly. Okay, so as you can see, here's the old part and here's the new part. You want to make sure that everything is the same so it will fit properly. All the parts, it looks like, should match. It should be the same part, and it was a lot cheaper than, as I said, ordering it anyplace else other than Amazon. So make sure this seal is on, as you see that it was on the old one. Make sure you put that on. And as I mentioned, this just twists off. It comes out counterclockwise, so it has to go in clockwise. And then here, the electrical connection, I show you that you just need to press on here, and then it will loosen it, and you just click it back in to put it on. And this was just a simple hose. It didn't have any clamps on it, so it should go back on it pretty easily. So one thing I suggest, if you're just a backyard mechanic, you don't have necessarily the proper tools for everything, scanning tools, resetting tools and such. For something like this, it's a pretty simple procedure. Even if you don't have the tools, you just open up the hood, you just go and undo the cable for either the positive or negative cable, which is right here, and leave that off for about half an hour, and that should clear the system out of the check engine light. And if you have done everything properly, you connected the hose so it seals well, and that was the issue. You didn't have any other issues. The same thing could happen when the gas cap is loose or it's not a proper fit. Sometimes some people say maybe use a little bit of Vaseline on it, or to seal it properly to pass e-check. But if this was your issue and you cleared it out here, it takes so many starts up, and the engine needs to go through several cycles, but it should clear itself out. So go ahead and take the battery off, leave it off for about half an hour or disconnected. It may, you may have to reset your radio and a couple of other settings, but other than that, it shouldn't clear anything else out. And then you can connect it back, and it should have the code cleared. And at that point, if you drive it for a couple of days, starting it, letting it warm up, cool down, several of these cycles, that should it should be functioning well, and the check engine light should not come back. So once you have taken off the battery cable to reset it, or you can use your scanning tool to reset it if it has that function, you're ready to put back the purge valve. It's basically the same procedure as taking it off, except in reverse. I would put the electrical connection on first, then I would twist it back on, and afterwards put this hose back on. So let me get that done and show you how the rest of it goes. So when you put the electrical connection on, you should hear a satisfying clicking sound. And also when you twist this purge valve back in place, that should click also. And then the hose, you want to push on as far as you can. There's a little tab that's right here that will stop it from going any further. So that should be it for the purge valve. Now we need to put this torsion bar back in its place. So in order to put these back, these brackets, this side of the bracket just slips underneath the bolt, and then you can tighten this bolt. I would just tighten both sides of this hand tight, and then once you have it hand tight, make sure this round part faces out toward the round part of the bracket so you have a proper seat. So put those back, tighten them up, and you should be basically all done. You could wait for the battery for about half an hour for it to reset, and afterwards hook the battery up, and that should have cleared the check engine light. Once that clears, you're good to go. Tighten the battery posts, the connections, so they don't come loose later. Set your radio or whatever else may have the battery, taking off the battery has affected, and then drive it for a couple of days. If the check engine light doesn't come back, then you have done well, and this was your issue, and it should have fixed it. If you have any other questions or comments, feel free to send it to me. And if you like what you see, give me a thumbs up. Thanks a lot. I'll see you guys on the next one.